Today I'm going to model for you how to round numbers through the hundred thousands place. In third grade, students were first introduced to the concept of rounding. They learned how to round between consecutive multiples of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000, and then use this knowledge to estimate solutions to addition and subtraction problems, rounding to the nearest 10 or 100. In fourth grade, this year, students could be given any number through the hundred thousands place and asked to round to any place. So let's look at how we want to do this. The first thing is we want to make sure that students understand the multiples. Can they count by thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s? Can they count by tens, starting with a number in the 100,000s? So this is something we want to make sure we can practice skip counting with. They also need to be able to identify the midpoint. They practiced this in third grade, finding the midpoint of tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s. So now you need to add that midpoint of 100,000s, focusing on the pattern. So we could be asked to round 11,243. We could be asked to round this number to the nearest 10, the nearest 100, the nearest 1,000, the nearest 10,000, not the nearest 100,000 because it's not that big. So let's look here. If I wanted to round this number to the nearest 10,000, the first thing I would want my students to be able to do is to identify the boundary numbers, the multiples that surround 11,243 when I'm talking about 10,000s. So I have the number 10,000 and I have the number 20,000. We were counting by 10,000s. This is what it would look like. Then I need to be able to identify the midpoint number, which would be 15,000. And then the student would be able to say, oh, 11,243 is closest to 10,000, so it rounds to 10,000. They could also have to take this same number and round it to the nearest 1,000. So in this case, if I'm counting by thousands, I would have 11,000 and I would have 12,000 as my boundary numbers, my consecutive multiples. Then I would need to find my midpoint, which is 11,500, and then figure out where does 11,243 go on this number line. Well, it's less than 500, so it's 11,200, so I would put it over here, 243, and I would see that the closest multiple, the number it's closest to, is 11,000, so 11,243 rounded to the nearest 1,000 is 11,000. You could continue to do this by rounding this number to the nearest 100 as well as to the nearest 10. And this is how we round numbers through the hundred thousands place.